Factors which drive political socialization in youth, a bivariate analysis presentation for the course Pol242y. My research question was, which factors best determine an interest in politics and a high level of civic duty? As of late, encouraging the youth vote has become an increasingly important issue. The youth vote during the 2011 election was markedly lower than it has been in the past, but as we saw in the 2008 elections in the United States and on many other occasions, the youth vote can have significant effects on elections results and policy. Therefore, I felt it would be interesting to analyze what factors, if any, could encourage a higher level of political socialization. The dataset used was the National Youth Survey. The sample size was 2,665, and the tests used were the reliability analysis, bivariate, crosstabs, chi-squared, tau-B, and C. Background research suggests that in the past, parents played the most decisive role in a child's interest or non-interest in politics. However, there are new findings which demonstrate that a civic education can influence not just a general interest, but genuine civic participation, and that friends have a growing influence on political socialization. There has been a marked decrease in youth voter turnout from 75% in 1984 to 61% in 2000 and finally 59% in 2008. Research does show that a dedication to voting comes from a formed habit, a further link to the influence of parents on the political habits of their children. The first step taken was to construct an index to measure political socialization. The indicators combined were, to what extent would you say you are interested in politics, and please rate on a scale of disagree to agree the following: the government plays a major role in my life today. I feel that by voting I can make a difference. It is a civic duty for citizens to vote in elections. The reliability analysis confirms that these indicators are indeed related enough to construct an index. The alpha score is well above 0.6 at 0.752, although the frequency distribution does show that the data is quite skewed towards a high level of political socialization, so I consulted the methodology for the survey, and it was indicated that they felt respondents had inflated their level of political participation, something we should keep in mind as we proceed. The first variable I chose to measure was related to at-home influence. The data is statistically significant, not due to sampling error, because the chi-square value is 0. The following comparisons can be drawn from the table. Participants who answered the at-home question with never showed a high level of socialization, only 37% of the time, while those who answered with often showed a high level 75% of the time. Similarly, of those who did talk to their parents about politics often, only 3.4% had a low level of socialization and 22% a moderate level. Most respondents who never talked to their parents about politics had a moderate level of socialization, 46%. Kendall's tau-B of 0.24704 confirms this positive relationship. The second variable chosen was related to dialogue in schools. This relationship is much weaker than for the previous variable, as portrayed by the tau-C of negative 0.06. Although the table does indicate that while 58% of students who took a course in politics had high levels of socialization, only 50% of students who did not study politics had that level. The third variable relates to dialogue with friends. It is not likely that these results are due to sampling error, given that chi-square value is again 0. Given that Kendall's tau-C value is negative 0.2274, we can already expect a fairly significant negative relationship, which is confirmed when looking at the results on the table. 60% of people who discuss politics with their friends had a high level of political socialization, while only 32% of those who didn't have the same result. The majority of people who did not discuss politics with their friends had a moderate level of socialization, or 49%, while the majority of those who did, again, had a high level. Summary of findings: they are largely consistent with background research and hypotheses. Both discussions of politics at home and with friends had a significant influence on socialization. They were close statistically, but discussion at home plays the key role. The only difference was that taking politics in high school had very little to do with level of political socialization, and that hypothesis was incorrect. In conclusion, it would be interesting to look at some statistics which compare socialization with studies in politics in university, given that high school curriculum is very broad and nonspecific. Also, more research to confirm the influence that friends have on political socialization and what methods could be used to drive additional civic duty among groups of young people, and especially among those groups of young people who do not get political socialization at home, what methods would drive them to civic participation. Syntax.